Okay, guys, we are live. I know it's a late one tonight. It's 10 o'clock, so it's going to be a short one. Myself and Keith are in the house. Jay was meant to be with us, but I don't know what happened there. But anyway,
technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties. We'll do it again. Oh, okay. Keith, before we talk about United, obviously last night, the Atletico game, I mean, it was just crazy stuff. It really was. We started like a house on fire, went 2 up, 1 or 2 little Brentford type moments really let them back in. I think Naby Keita was poor on both goals. You could say the defender was poor as well. But ultimately, Keith, we won 3-2. And to be honest, it's a great result away Atletico. I know they were 10 men, but still, I'll take it all day long. Would you? 3 wins out of 3?
It's probably has to be up there with some of the hardest, or one of the hardest places to go and get a result, I'd say. With the management, the crowd, the players. You know, they know every fucking trick in the book. So to go there, listen, we started off fantastically well, and then lost our way. And I think we did. You know, it's just there's a bit of naivety there throughout the side, and I think Mane getting involved kind of gave them something to latch onto, gave them something to hold on to, got the crowd up, got Simeone up, got the players up. And then we do a couple of silly things in midfield. You know, we shouldn't let any player get a run on us. It should be just a foul. We should just foul them, you know, and get set.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. There was a little bit of that right through the game where we kept pushing for another goal instead of just holding the ball and killing the game. And we had an extra man. We should have just passed them to death for the last 20 minutes and didn't do it. But listen, it had absolutely everything, you know. I think first 13 minutes we were like, what the fucking hell? What are we watching here? This was just crazy. You know, this was crazy. It was like, you know, really top elite side against a 3rd or 4th division side.
Yeah.
It was, you know, it was chalk and cheese. We were just, you know, all over them, but all over them in such a kind of a controlled way, you know, and get 2 up, and then we start doing some silly, stupid stuff. And in fairness, they get 1, and when they get 1, everybody's back up and they get 2. And after they get the 2, we're extremely lucky to win the game. You know, no matter what way you look at it. Now,
we're lucky. We're lucky. Yeah,
we're very lucky to win the game. Very lucky to win the game. But listen, it's an absolutely cauldron, you know, of a stadium to go to, especially when, you know, all the antics, all the dark arts, everything that's going on there, to come away with. And even that 2-1, even at 3-2, with very little time to go, I'm kind of going, I'd actually still be happy with a draw here. It was that kind of a game.
Yeah. I would have took a draw before the game. I thought us going into it, and Atletico weren't the same team. They're Spanish champions, by the way, but the way the game went, Keith, when it was 2-0 up, I was going, what is this going? This could be a cricket score. We were flying for about 15 bloody minutes. And all of a sudden, a bit like the United game tonight. I mean, at Atalanta, if anybody doesn't know, we're 2-0 up in that game. They were flying in the bloody game. Exact same sort of scenario. But 2-0 is a weird result. If the other team get a goal against you, especially the home team, the crowd are up.
Yeah.
You know, and then I think it was only a matter of time, and obviously they ultimately won 3-2. A great header from Ronaldo, it has to be said. But that'll give them some confidence coming into the Liverpool game. But defensively, they did look a bit all over the shop. That's the only good thing I take out of the game, and I think we can get at them. But go forward, they're going to be a danger key to us.
Of course they are. They've got 3 or 4 different, at least, you know, depending on what side they pick, game winners. You know, individually, when you look at them 1 to 11 on paper, they look a really strong side. But that doesn't follow through week on, week out in terms of their performances. You know, it's very much an individualistic thing. You know, it's somebody popping up, you know, coming from behind, or somebody popping up with a late winner. That's how they've been doing it, and they've got the firepower. There's no 2 ways about that. You have to think that from our perspective, it has to be a 90-minute performance. You know, in terms of controlled, dominated, you know, all over them for 90 minutes. Because if we give them an inch with that crowd behind them, they can roll you over. They can score quick goals quite quickly. So, I think the difference second half, though, in terms of our control with Fabinho playing in a 6 was just chalk and cheese to the first half, you know.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
If we get, obviously, if he's fit enough and he plays Fabinho in that particular role, you know, you can probably see us still having 60, 65%, 70% possession at Old Trafford, but still being quite susceptible to quick counter-attacking football.
Yeah.
So we have to be able to deal with that.
We have to be. I mean, we'd 69%.
You know,
I think we'd 69% possession last night.
Yeah.
60 at Atletico. What?
Yeah, but we still needed Alisson. You know, in
Yeah.
three occasions he was one-on-one, stands up very well and stops them scoring. So, you know, there is a soft underbelly there that needs attention, to be honest with you, in terms of when the ball is turned over in certain positions. And I thought after the first 13 minutes, I thought our front three were fucking poor, to be honest with you. They were poor holding up the ball.
They were,
you know, they tossed the ball up, constantly coughing up possession, you know. And then as soon as the other team turn over possession, the first thing they're going to do against our high line is they're going to take a look up, and it's either going to be 2 or 3 quick passes and they're in our back four, or it's a long ball over the top. So the only way we can stop that happening is that if we keep recycling, right, and keep the pressure, build the pressure. But if the front three keep coughing up the ball as badly as they did against a side like United, who are effectively a counter-attacking side, right?
Yeah.
We could be in all sorts, you know. So
I know. No, listen, it won't be easy. It's
all
never
the
an easy
goals,
game, Keith. It's never an easy game.
First 13 minutes were fantastic. You know, everybody's getting involved. We're holding up the ball. We're laying the ball off. You know, triangles all over the place. Absolutely fantastic, you know. They start putting their foot in and seriously putting their foot in then after that, especially after that. And our front three didn't like it, and they didn't really fancy it after that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, our midfield was poor, though. The midfield three were very poor, to be fair. The three of them didn't have a good game. Henderson was poor. Milner had one of it. He looked tired. I'm not blaming Milner. I mean, he's old enough now. He played another game. But Naby Keita, he scored a goal, but he was caught out of position at least 3 or 4 times, Keith. You know, he wasn't running back. He wasn't filling in the spaces. He was actually up front more than he was in midfield. I don't think he'll play that midfield again against the top side. I can't see that midfield.
I can't remember the last time that midfield played together, to be honest with you. They didn't look like either of them knew what their positions were or what they were doing or who was covering, to be honest with you. So, so listen, you put Fabinho back in there and you put Henderson on the right, and then you've got options there on the left-hand side. That's a lot more solid then from our perspective. And everybody knows their roles, their responsibilities in the team, you know, and we build from that. You know, that kind of experimental midfield thing last night was great at the start, and we started off like a house on fire. But as soon as the pressure came on, it was like, well, where is everybody? Where is everybody? You know,
I think everyone was screaming for Fabinho at halftime, weren't they, on WhatsApp and everything and Twitter. Get Fabinho on quick, you know. Yeah,
but you know, even in a midfield scenario like that, it's like you won't pass me, okay? So I'm going to take you down. I'm going to take a free, and potentially I'm going to take a yellow card. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to let you turn me, and I'm the last man, and you're then running on my back four. So there was none of that. There was very little shithousery from us, you know. Whereas from Atletico's perspective, they were at it all fucking night, you know. So probably need to get a little bit clever, particularly at Europe. We need to get a lot more clever in terms of our game management, you know. And if we're under a bit of pressure, and if we're, you know, we need to be able to take a foul, take a minute out, look like we're injured, buy a bit of time, do all that kind of stuff, you know, because the basketball type approach that we saw last night in terms of attack versus defense is a shootout, you know, and that's a coin toss.
Yeah.
You know, it could work out very well for you, and you get to a final playing that kind of football. But
do you know what was nice about winning last night? You know, Simeone running down the tunnel and all this, and their shithousery team now, the Atletico, they're as you say, they dive, they roll around. I mean, that penalty that they could have gotten, probably should have got. Well, a lot of it was to do with the fact that he made it look like a dive. You know what I mean? He made it look like he got shot, which was the mistake. He made it look so fake, even though he probably was touched, you know.
I think the ref was pissed off at all their antics anyway, you know.
That's what I mean.
He was literally pissed off at all their antics, and he was like kind of going, you know what? That's probably a dive, so I'm just going to reverse it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He did. It's very rare to reverse a penalty. It's very rare in Europe to do it in a big game. But I think, listen, I'm delighted with 3-2. 3 wins out of 3. You know, 3-2 against Milan was a comeback win. The 5-0 against Porto, it was Porto. We always beat them 5-0. That was just crazy. And then last night, we were lucky last night. It has to be said, but I'm taking it.
But listen, we've been the better side on the other two legs we played against Atletico, home and away, and they've nicked a goal in their backyard, and then the goalkeeper pretty much just given them a couple of goals against us. So do you know what? We were due a little bit of luck against them. To be honest
absolutely.
With you. We got it last night, and you
they
take
got it against us. Remember in the game where we absolutely pissed on them at Anfield, and we only won 1-0. They brought it to extra time. Do you remember that game?
Yeah.
We should have beat them 3 or 4, and then they beat us ultimately with away goals and breakaways and stuff. But so, we deserved that. We move on from that. Obviously, the big game of the weekend, but what 11 do you go with then? I mean, Alisson was brilliant. So obviously, Alisson goes in. You have to keep. I think Matip looked a little bit shaky, actually, to be fair. Now, in Europe, I know it's different. He looked shaky against Milan as well, and then he was okay in the league. But I'll tell you what, you want to be on your A game at Old Trafford. There's just no doubt about it. With those fans there, full house. After that win they got tonight, Ronaldo looked dangerous, and Sancho didn't do too much either today, but they're dangerous going forward, Keith. But we've got to be tight at the back. I think Robbo and Trent play. I think Matip, DVD, Alisson play. I think Fabinho comes in. He has to start. I think Henderson starts because he's the captain. Didn't have a good game, but he just starts. I don't think Thiago makes it, and I don't think Curtis Jones. I think Curtis Jones will be in the squad. Whether he starts, I don't know. But Naby Keita, I think Keith. I think it's. We're giving him too many. He's just not doing it. He's not doing it. And the 3 amigos up front, it has to be. Or will Jota come in? I don't know. I think the Naby decision and do you play the front 3? I think they're the 2 decisions.
I think he may start.
What would you do?
I think he might start the front 3. Bobby probably didn't have as good a game, I suppose, as he had the weekend. But, certainly for the first 20, 25 minutes when he came back into midfield, because remember, they played 3-5-2 against us, so they had extra bodies in midfield. Yeah. And I think he came back in and he caused them all sorts. Now, a couple of different things happened in the game where he was less effective going on, but at the start of that game, he was very, very effective. He was linking up play. He was coming back into midfield, and we dominated. And I don't think Joshua, when he came on, did a huge amount to dislodge Bobby at this stage in a big game.
He got the pen on, didn't he?
Yeah, and nearly gave one back 2 minutes later. So,
that's true, yeah.
And other than that, I don't think he did a huge amount to... But then again, the whole team was pretty much, not functioning properly at that stage in any way. So I think the left-hand side of midfield is probably the only call. And...
Yeah.
If Curtis was fit, I'd nearly put him in. I tell you what, he didn't do himself any harm whatsoever when he came on. Was Ox? I thought Ox was probably the best player on the pitch when he came on in terms of his tackling, turnovers, winning back possession.
Well, you know what? He might be in for a show with Henderson and Fabinho. He might actually get that show.
I thought he didn't do himself any harm whatsoever. I thought he was really good when he came on, to be honest with you. It's just a different ball game when you start him. It's a different ball game when you start him, So I don't know. It's a tough one, to be honest with you. It's a tough one. And I think it's probably going to be a tough one for Klopp in terms of who he picks.
Now, we have a nice little rest, obviously. We did extra days rest on United. They played tonight. But I'll tell you
they're
what,
home, they're not traveling, so it's probably...
it evens itself out. But and that win, getting a comeback win like that is great for confidence. It really is. We know all about that. You're 2-0 down, you come back, win 3-2. I know you're expected to beat Atalanta and stuff, but United aren't expected to beat anybody at the moment, to be fair. You know what I mean? It wasn't 100% that you were going to win tonight. And when you were 2-0 down, I nearly had a better chance of them winning. I told you, put a few quid in them winning when you were 2-0 down. Because they seem to rise to it, when they're 2-0 down, the famous comeback wins that they've got.
The other thing as well is that a team like that comes to Old Trafford and goes 2 up and then they fucking shit their pants, and don't know what to do. Don't know what to do in terms of when one goal goes in or how to change their game. Listen, I didn't see the game, right? So it's difficult for me to pass comment on it. But, if you go 2 up in a Champions League game, if you're at a particular level, we did it last night, you should come away with something out of the game, whether it's a draw or whether it's 3 points. But to go 2 up and then to lose 3-2, top sides, rare that happens. So hey, listen, they'll have confidence going into playing against us. And to be honest with you, that's probably all right for us. They'll probably just think they can come in and play. Listen, it's an absolute basket case of a game. To be honest with you, Old Trafford.
Do you know what it is? Yeah, it's one of those games. It actually doesn't matter what form you're in going into that game. That's a real cost of a coin game. It really is. I mean, United are at home. Liverpool are favourites with the bookies just because of form, positioning in tables and stuff like that. But it really, I mean, we could lose that. If we're not on our A game, it's a game we could lose. It's one of the tough grounds for Liverpool historically. I know we beat them 4-2 last year, but historically we don't beat them there. You know what I mean? Even at our best, when we were at our best, it's hard for us to beat them there.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting a really tough
it's very
game.
important now for momentum because, the teams around us at the top of the league have relatively easy games over the next couple of weeks. City, until they play United, I think have a relatively straightforward run in terms of games. I think Chelsea are pretty much the same as well. So it's important we keep pace, because when we move in towards November, December, things settle down a little bit for us in terms of our run of games, games we should be doing well against, whereas the teams around us have more difficult games on paper. So I think it's important that we absolutely, don't lose, to be honest with you, against United.
I think it's a must not lose game, basically. I'm not saying it's a must win. Although you have to win. Listen, if you're going to go for the league, you sort of have to win. It'd be a great confidence booster to beat them. The only thing is, I mean, Ole's hung on by his fingernails tonight. You see his face when they were 2-0 down tonight. I think your writing was on the wall. I lose this, I'm in trouble. Then you face Liverpool. It's all over Monday. You know what I mean? I'm on the bus home Monday. But all of a sudden, they get the 3-2 win. The confidence is up. And they're going into that game. I know it's Liverpool, but he's saying to himself, we win this, I get another few weeks on my contract. Because the fans just, Liverpool United is the big one, fans-wise and historically, as we say.
I think we can lose that game and just make sure we're solid, So as a 6, as a 7, right? Just to make sure that we're very solid in terms of what we're doing. So Fabinho, 6, Henderson on the right, whoever's playing on the left. I think Trent is going to need help. I think he's going to need cover. He gets targeted, right? Now, if Trent can withstand that targeting for 90 minutes, I think he's the winning of most games for us. But, at certain stages last night when he was targeted, they got some joy against us. And to be honest with you, I think with the limited ability Solskjaer and his backroom staff have from a coaching perspective, I can see them targeting Trent, to be honest with you. So I think it's important that we have Henderson sitting in front of him on the right hand side and to provide that bit of cover and to almost say we are a 7 here and let the front three go fucking win the game.
Would you take Tsimikas as a show?
No,
I know you like his deliveries.
I do like him.
His DHL deliveries, but
I do like
a big game like this. I can't see him. Can you?
No. I think we know from Klopp's perspective, he does defaults to I suppose what he knows works best. And listen, he could look at Milner and throw Milner in the left hand side of midfield there, if he's all right for it. He could literally do that, because there's solidity there across the back 4 and across the front 3. And then we could seriously just dominate them. However, a lot of it boils down to taking our chances and what the front 3 do. So they need to bail us out at times in some of the bigger games in terms of ball retention, ball recycling, and not just cover up so easy. And as a team, if you're 2-1 up, 3-2 up, sometimes it's okay to close up fucking shop and just play fucking football.
It's not what we do, though, is it, Keith? It's not what we fucking do. I mean, even the Brentford game, which annoyed the hell out of me. I thought we should have won that game. I really do. It might come back to haunt us at the end of the season, but I mean, it's a long way to go. And then you could look at the Chelsea game.
The difference between that really is that it's they're all their lads are taller than Van Dijk. It's long balls into the box. It's throw-ins into the box. It's the same thing against Chelsea. You just bombard your box. Now listen, they play. They get amongst you and they do get possession to get the ball into those positions, but that's what they do, and every team's going to struggle against that. Whether you're a Liverpool, Man City, or whoever else it is, you're going to struggle against that type of football. Yeah. But last night, that's not what was happening. It was being played through the middle. A lot of it was being played through the middle,
And that's unusual. It's unusual for Liverpool to be played through the middle. Very unusual.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you rarely see it, Keith. So that midfield three was wrong. That was Klopp's mistake, I think.
First 13 minutes or so, though, it wasn't, you know. So it's mindset, it's mentality. But it's like if the whole unit isn't working at the same time, if it's creaking at the front, it tends to creak in the middle and creak at the back, right? So the whole thing needs to be working very well at the same time. So
to be fair to him, he changed it early enough, which helps. And you know, Klopp doesn't like changing things too early at all. So we obviously seen it at half time. It went, God, I think I said it to you last night on WhatsApp. Doing well to get to half time here, 2-2. I think going in at 2-2 at half time was a blessing in disguise to us. I think if it would have won, if we would have been 3-2 down there at half time, Keith, from being 2-0 up, you know, totally different second half. You're going in at 2-2. You still get it. It's a clean slate. Look, get our act together. We are a bit different. Obviously, descending off as a silly fucking team. Griezmann absolutely fucking needed to do that after scoring two great goals.
Listen, I think he was unfortunate when you look at it. He was unfortunate, but he's out of control. He's off his feet. His feet is in the air. You have to be aware of what's around you from a other player perspective. So it's dangerous. He's out of control. His foot is really high, and he's off the ground as well at the same time. So he's unfortunate. He didn't mean it, but I think in the rules of the game, I think it was a fair decision.
So are you confident for the weekend?
No, I am confident, to be honest with you. I am confident. Listen, it's like anything else. If we start the way we started last night and manage to, you know, manage the game after we go ahead, I think you know, we will do well there, you know.
Yeah.
However, you know, if we start doing a couple of silly stuff around the place, get involved, you know, and start losing our heads a little bit. When we lose our heads fucking spectacularly. You know, that's the thing. So if we don't lose our head and keep our cool, you know, we'll have to take our opportunities. I think we'd be all right, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
They are a team of individuals. If we bring our overall team approach, you know, and absolutely play them and press, you know, and show for each other and have confidence and courage on the ball, we're a better footballing side than they are, and we should go ahead and beat them. However, if we don't bring that, and it's slightly differently, well then, you know, it's a coin toss. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, no, listen, you got to bring your A game. I don't think a B game be good enough at Old Trafford to get a result. Rory Fitzgerald, I like the amount of ball we had in the first 15 against away at Atleti. Solskjaer needs to handle his own side of things and think about what he wants to press. It's a headache for him. Yeah, I'm sure, listen, that's a game he doesn't want to lose against Liverpool. We know he's a secret Liverpool fan, but we're going to have only a short one tonight, Doug. Sorry, but we won't be staying on much longer because it's so bloody late. It's another 2 or 3 minutes and I'm out of here, Keith. We both have work in the morning. So I'm going to do something else maybe Friday night, Keith. If you're around, you can pop in if you want. But Doug, sure, if you want to come in then Friday night, we can maybe do a longer show and do something. But I'm looking forward to Sunday. Everyone's looking forward to Sunday. I don't know. It's hard to say a scoreline. Maybe we'll know more Friday with who's injured, who's ready to play the game and stuff. It's hard to predict maybe on Wednesday night with the game so far away, Keith. But I think we leave it there. That was nice, short and sweet. Pity Jay couldn't come in, the big United man, Jay Duffy.
No, he was there at the start, but you know, he couldn't hear us.
Technical defaults and it just didn't work. But anyway, Keith,
I spoke to him beforehand, and he said he fancies us to win 3-0. So you know, we just pass that on, and that's what he said.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah. Anyway, listen, we leave it there. Thanks very much to Ravi, Doug. As I say, Doug, Friday, if you're around, you can pop in with us. Rory Fitzgerald, all the top guys in the house, Eamon Kelly, all the usuals, as they say, in the house. Helen wasn't here tonight. That's unusual. Keith, talk to you soon. Maybe Friday we'll do another show. Cheers, guys. Stay safe. I'm confident on Sunday. So is Keith. Let's go.